Reset button.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the internet, we're just three guys. Welcome to our Xmas Spook-Tacular, Dannon, whatever it is. It's Christmas Eve. It's our Christmas Eve episode right here, episode 4, on the reset button on Hibiki TMD. Real quick, follow us on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Dannon, happy holidays, my friend. We have a special guest this week, which I'm really excited to have. A longtime friend of us, first-time guest to anything on Hibiki TMD. But real quick, what's going on, my dear, close, personal, longtime friend, Tannen? What's going on?
Merry Christmas to you too, and happy holidays. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, to everybody out there.
Did you have a good Festivus?
I had a fantastic Festivus yesterday. It was great. I mean, I had to work, but cleared up some last minute shopping. Got some dinner.
Feats of strength.
It's there should be a feats of strength. I'd fart on my opponent, and then Festivus would end. I'd pin them right after that. But yeah, no, fantastic day, a good day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings me in my stocking and my wrapped gifts. There's wrapped gifts here at the house. I have no idea what they are. Very excited.
Games.
Yeah, you know what? Even if they were, I'd still be happy. I'd still be happy enough about that. Anyway, without further ado, though, I do want to introduce Ronnie here with us, lead singer of the Nunchuck Bastards, great fucking band. Also a longtime old school gamer, as he likes to call himself. Ronnie, how are you doing on this fine Festivus/Christmas Eve evening?
I am doing excellent, and thank you for asking. And I'm just here to talk about some of the worst game experiences I ever had for Christmas, and the worst gift I ever got for Christmas that's not game related. Figured I would talk a little bit about that, and just talk about some Carrie Fischer, of course, because that's kind of a big deal. We've already all talked about this today, so I'm just here to have a good time and talk with you guys.
Well, yeah, let's get to the and welcome, Ronnie. By the way, thank you for coming on, man. Real quick.
Thanks for having me.
And let's go ahead and plug you real quick before we forget, because we tend to forget because we're assholes, I guess, in a way. Where can everyone check out the Nunchuck Bastards, everything you do on social media, links? Where can everyone check out your band and your music?
We have a Facebook page. We started a new genre of punk. There's a lot of horror punk around here, but we're just going with horror bull punk. So it's pretty much just horror bull, like because we suck, because we're a punk band. You guys know how that is. Punk music's terrible, but I like it, and you guys like it. So we're kind of nerds, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But you can check us out on Facebook. We don't have any shows coming up because we are actually recording right now. I'm actually going to the studio and finishing up vocals on the 9th and the 10th of January. And when we get that done, I'll get you guys some music. And if you want to play it on your show, you're welcome to play it on your show.
Well, hopefully everyone heard the intro to the show. That was you guys, and like you guys heard, they're fucking good. I wouldn't have any musician or recommend any music that wasn't good. So definitely check them out. Thanks again, Ronnie. Let's do this. But first, like I said, let's get the kind of bumming. At least she's better. Carrie Fischer suffered a heart attack yesterday, the day before Christmas Eve. She's 60 years old, guys. She hasn't exactly lived a clean life. I mean, and I'm no saint. I'm just saying it is what it is. That's a fact. It takes its toll. Your demons takes its toll. She's battled alcoholism, numerous substance abuse issues over the years. She's definitely turned it around, but damage was done apparently. But yeah, I'm so glad Carrie Fisher is okay. What can you say? True legend. In my mind, I'm sure in your guys' mind, but
oh yeah.
Thankfully, we still have Carrie around, and nothing but the best to you, Carrie.
Yeah, hands down. I mean, just nothing but prayers and good vibes and whatever you believe in. Send it out to Mrs. Fisher out there. She's definitely been a leading lady in my life as far as film goes. And, it's not just Star Wars she's been in, plenty of other movies. And if you've ever seen her special, too, that she did for HBO, it was an hour-long special. She just talked about her life, a lot of her trials and tribulations, her relationship with Paul Simon. Really, really, really interesting woman, really with a lot to say. Definitely comes off as somebody with a good heart, meaning that she's a good soul, just a really nice person. So just, I wish the best for her.
Yeah, doesn't she have a book coming out too?
She does.
Is it already out?
She does.
Yeah, and the scene with her chained to Jabba the Hutt as a child was probably one of the most memorable scenes from Star Wars. It was it just.
That outfit alone. Whoa.
Well, that and Jabba the Hutt was just weird. It was kind of cool to see her chained to Jabba the Hutt as a kid. It's kind of like the three boob lady in Total Recall. It's just one of them scenes as a kid. You're like, wow. You guys know how it is. You watch those movies when you were younger, I'm sure, and it's like, you kind of get into it,
I don't know. I kind of prefer my Carrie Fisher from the movie Shampoo with Warren Beatty from the 70s. She's got I don't know. It's a different looking Carrie, but it's a young Carrie.
I like my Carrie Fisher from the Burbs. I prefer my Carrie Fisher as just a sweet housewife that she wants you to go on vacation, but you're like, no, I just want to sit around the house. And then she's like, why the hell are you spying on this neighbor? Turns out they're actually psycho killers, but she definitely was was pretty cool in that movie.
Wasn't Carrie Fisher, was there some weird Wizard of Oz kind of sub movie she was in the early 80s? It was really bad.
Was that the sequel, Return to Oz?
No,
Return to Oz.
No, it was something.
I don't think she was in that movie.
No, it was something about something rainbow in the title. I'm not sure, but it was really, I don't know. She was in a lot of stuff that people don't know about, and a lot of the stuff she's been in.
Drop Dead Fred. She was the friend / therapist.
Blues
in
Brothers.
Dead Fred too.
She's in the fucking Blues Brothers. She was.
Yeah, dude. She's the pissed off girlfriend in Blues Brothers.
What? You know what?
She was.
Fucking Scream 3. She was in. I don't know. I don't feel like looking it up, but I'm sure she's in a plethora of.
I already said that.
But yeah, Carrie Fisher, get well soon. Real quick, Ronnie, because I've never had you on anything. Are you a Star Wars guy more or a Star Trek guy?
Star Wars. I don't care for Star Trek at all.
Amen, brother. I know Tammy's a Star Trek.
Hey, don't shit on the original series. That show is great to watch when you're stoned.
I don't hate it. It's just it's not for me. I'd rather watch Stargate than Star Trek.
I really liked her in Jay and Silent Bob too. I know she played a small role, but it was her little appearance in Jay and Silent Bob was just awesome. You guys remember her in that?
Yeah, definitely.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where she was the nun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
the rules of the road. It's the rules of the road.
Tana, what's going on real quick? Because we don't have a lot of news, and it's Christmas anyway, so let's not be too factual or too black and white. Let's have some fun, but real quick, what was that about the Switch you were telling me yesterday? I can't remember, but I knew it was very newsworthy. You mentioned to me off air. If not,
I don't remember what the hell I talked about. I think I was scrolling through headlines, and we were just talking about what was going on.
Yeah.
And
tell me the news is it's going to be the best movie ever. Or best game system ever. I want to hear that. I really want it.
Well, let's get right to the brass tacks. Let's get to Christmas, guys, because how can we?
GameCube. Wait. GameCube games are going to be on its virtual console. That was announced.
Yes.
So they're going to be putting GameCube games on that motherfucker. I cannot wait.
That's cool.
Because I got quite a GameCube library, but again, can't play them on my HD TV.
GameCube,
but also
glorious.
But to have GameCube then in the palms of my hands too and be marriable. Oh hell yeah! Oh man.
But let's get right to the elephant in the room, though. It's Christmas time, guys. growing up, I'm sure you guys were just like me. Games became a big deal. First, it was toys, obviously, but then you mature enough to where it's like you have the hand-eye coordination to be a gamer. When that grows and it clicks in your kid, it won't go away if you truly love it. And we all wanted the hot new games every year. Hits and misses, obviously, it's gonna happen because it's parents. Let's be real, but they do their best. I got to give credit to my parents. First of all, shout out to my parents. Thank you for giving me into my nerdy habits, but Ronnie, for those of you that don't know, your main thing growing up was the NES. That was probably your main console, you would say, right?
Absolutely. I also had Genesis. I played a lot of Genesis too. Super Nintendo. I was into that a lot. I stuck with Nintendo for a lot. I did have PlayStation 1 and 2, but I've stuck with Nintendo for most of my life.
So like your baseline was the NES. So I think Tannen, you're the same, right?
Yeah, well, NES and Super Nintendo.
So we're all
big chunk of my life was Super.
We're gonna have a lot of in commons, possibly. We're gonna have a lot of surprises. Well, let's go right into it. Let's start with the good, especially coming off the Carrie Fisher talk. What do you guys like? Your favorite in each of us? We can go across the board. It doesn't matter. Whatever pops in your head. Your favorite game ever you got in your childhood? Maybe up to like I don't know when like late teen years. I would say as far as an age limit on what was your favorite all time, guys? Like
that I got for Christmas?
Yeah, as a kid.
My biggest surprise actually did not come from my parents. My biggest surprise came from my grandparents. They got me A Link to the Past when I was 8 years old.
Beautiful.
That Christmas. And I wasn't expecting that same Christmas. It was a kick-ass Christmas for games for me because I also got Mario Kart and I got Mario Paint from my parents. And then we went over to their house to open up presents, and I got A Link to the Past. And it was beautiful. Like it was a perfect Christmas. I did not have one shitty game that Christmas. Everybody did so good that Christmas. So that was probably the best Christmas game wise that I had.
You and I are gonna have something in common right off the bat because our favorite is gonna be from the Super Nintendo. And the same year I got from my grandparents Super Street Fighter 2 and Mario Paint from my parents. So that was like a 1-2 punch of awesomeness. It was the best Christmas ever. Even the toys I got were phenomenal. I remember like nothing wrong with it, and I had some good ones. But Ronwell.
Oh yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just that same year too. I got the complete set of. Remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures that could mutate?
Yes.
I got every single one of them, including the villains. Like I had the whole freaking set that year. Like there's even me on video that every time I'm opening up one, I end up putting one to the side because I'm like, okay, yeah, look, I ended up learning what the shape of the box was.
Do you remember?
So I knew what it was going to be.
Speaking of action figures, real quick, do you remember? And we'll get to Ronnie in a second. This just popped in my head, and I don't want to forget it. Do you remember the Willow action figures limited run? They weren't really action figures, but they were like they had like little boards they stood on. They weren't.
Yeah, they were like little statues.
My parents got me everything in that set, and it was like a almost 60-piece set, and I had it all as a kid.
Holy
crap! Of
crap.
course, my stupid little ass ended up losing it over the years. But at the time, like I loved that movie as a kid, and I never had a game of Willow, but I do remember that stood out as far as toys. Of course, getting the Technodrome as a kid from the Turtles was probably the best toy present I ever got. Ronnie, what, in your opinion, was your favorite all-time Christmas? I guess in general, Christmas Day of just like a gauntlet of great presents, I would say.
Dude, there's been a few, but as far as video games, I think Zelda, the first Zelda I got for Christmas, was the best. But I knew that one was going to be good. I knew it. But like as far as a surprise, I would have to say probably Athena that I got. I didn't think I was going to like it. Was not excited when I opened it. Looked at the back of the box and was like, this looks okay. But I went home and played it. I enjoyed it. I don't even remember if it's good now, but I'm pretty sure I would still like it. But, Goonies 2 was another one that was a good surprise that I didn't know I was going to get it, and I ended up getting it. That's why it was a surprise, and Contra, Punch Out, RC Pro Am, games like that, I knew were going to be good. I asked for those, but like Bionic Commando, I didn't know I was going to get that, and I got it, and I loved it. Just the Cobra Triangle was great. Athena, just.
I was gonna say Athena is a really weird choice because I kind of remember that game, but wasn't it like pink and you were like a little girl in that game? It's a really weird choice
you were
for
little.
parents to get their kid for Christmas, but I don't remember if it's good either. It's been so long, but I do remember it, like it was kind of like an anime kind of game. It's very
Yeah,
rare.
and it was like you were just saying. I opened it and it did not look appealing at all. It did
Yeah,
not look like something I would want to play, and I got into it and I really liked it.
that's awesome.
Mutant League Football was another one.
That's a good one. That is a damn good one.
I wish they would remake a Mutant League Football. Can you imagine what they could do with
Yes.
that game now?
And NFL Blitz. They have to redo
great.
NFL Blitz the good way. Like
Yeah, why don't they do that? It's crazy.
Mutant League
They're owned
Hockey.
by
You ever
EA,
play
so-
that one? That was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, hockey was cool too. So I like hockey games a lot. I know you seem to like them too, and I definitely would like to play some old school hockey
Now,
sometime.
did your parents ever like have prank gifts? Because this year, straight up, we got our kids laptops, but they're upstairs in the closet, wrapped under the tree, or two giant. And I got to keep my voice down just in case. Two giant boxes wrapped full of cans of vegetables that feel like laptops. So we're gonna let them open that first. I'll put a picture up in the Facebook group.
You got to make a video because your kids are gonna start crying.
Yeah.
You're gonna make your children cry.
And like my significant other and I go back and forth like, well, how long should we wait to give them the real present? I'm like, I don't know. It depends on what happens. But yeah, did your parents ever do that to you?
My parents never pranked me. They tested my sister. One year, my sister wanted a dollhouse really bad, and we have this on video. It was the same year that I got Super Mario Kart, actually, and Mario Paint. Like, I'm opening these up. I'm like, these are all awesome gifts. My sister opened up everything that she got and started crying because she didn't get this dollhouse. And they were saving that as like a surprise. They didn't prank her at all. They just like held out on giving it to her, and she just started crying. And I'm like, dude, Holly, like I opened up Mario Kart and put it in, and I'm like, dude, Holly, just play Mario Kart with me. You don't have to cry, like. And she's just like sitting there still crying. And then lo and behold, here comes the dollhouse. And then like she's crying, and, like she's still mad at my parents.
And then all is
well. It was. Yeah, but I mean, just the hilarious part of it too is the fact that it was it's all on video. I have the VHS.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna tape it, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that was what they did. See, my parents never pranked me, and even if they had, I still would have like laughed about it.
Did they do the thing? Like for either of you guys, did they? Shout out to Oracle. Merry Christmas to you, Oracle. That's Tannen's dog. For those that don't know.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, doggy.
Would your parents ever do the thing like, will they give you clues and they lead like a string, or there's clues for throughout the house, like try to trick you or do fancy?
That was Easter.
Okay.
Easter was always an event, and my dad really knew how to hide stuff.
Ronnie, what about
one
you?
year he put.
Oh, yeah, sorry, dude.
Never mind, sorry.
Well, I never got pranked by my parents, but I figured this is a great opportunity for me to talk about the worst Christmas gift I ever got.
Well,
that was legitimate.
We can do that, but Tan, I feel bad for cutting you off, and you actually had a prank or whatever story.
Oh, no, just one. There was one Easter. I only asked for one thing, and it was I wanted the Dig for PC, that Scum game, by LucasArts. I really wanted it, and so my dad, he didn't tell me what he got me, but he woke me up that morning and had me look throughout the whole house. He had it hidden in a ceiling fan. And finally, like, he was like, why don't you just lay down on the floor and stare up at the ceiling? And I'm laying on the floor. It still took me 3 minutes to fucking notice it was in the ceiling fan.
Nice.
Like, I was just like, I don't know what he's like, just keep looking up. And I'm like, I still don't know what I'm looking for. And I'm like frustrated. I'm like, Dad, he was like, just look up. And then I look up and I'm like, oh.
See, that's on you. It was right there. It's right in front of your face. But, it's worse than being pranked and, like, feeling like a fool when you get the gift in the end after crying as a kid or whatever is getting the gift and it sucks. And like Ronnie said, Ronnie, what is the worst gift, game, what have you ever got for Christmas?
It's pretty bad. It's really bad. One of them's extremely bad. One's just kind of bad. But my great grandmother, who actually just turned 100 2 months ago.
Congratulations, wow. Ronnie's grandmother.
Definitely.
When she was like 80 something, we went to her house for Christmas Eve, like we do every year, and I'm actually going. I'm getting ready to go later on today. Christmas Eve later on today, and we go there every year. And she got me Kathy Lee Gifford Christmas, which is a musical CD. I'll actually tag you guys to Regis Philbin singing Jingle Bells after we do this show. And it was Kathy Lee Gifford singing Christmas songs. And she got me a Redskins sweatshirt, and I was not a Redskins fan at all. But, grandmother. So, but she also got us a pumpkin pie. She made a pumpkin pie because we eat dinner there. And it had chili powder in it instead of paprika or nutmeg. So it was really terrible. Like she was like everybody ate it, and everyone was like, "Ew, it's disgusting." Like my younger niece came out and was like, "Oh, I want a piece of pumpkin pie." And her mother, my sister, was like, "No, you don't." And my grandmother asked everyone, "Was the pie okay?" And no one wants to hurt her feelings, so they're like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, good, because I accidentally put chili powder in it." So, you knew you put chili powder in it, you still served. So, but yeah, like she got me Kathy Lee Gifford for Christmas, and I don't think I'd rather have socks, and I've gotten socks, and I was happier about socks.
Hey, shout out to socks. I get excited when I get socks.
Dude, yeah, man. Socks and underwear was the top thing on my list this year. I wanted socks and underwear from everybody.
I go through
just bring it on the socks and underwear.
Feet. Yeah, I change my socks all the fucking time, so I can appreciate
the I don't know about you guys too, but there's nothing better than putting on a brand new pair of underwear straight out of the pack.
You're right.
It just feels fucking awesome. It's like, oh man, like just bring it on. I could put on a new pair of fucking underwear 3 times a day. Not that I shit myself or anything.
Well, there you have it.
Well, if you do, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so what about you guys? What's the worst gift you guys ever? Travis? What's the worst you've ever received?
Jesus God, it wasn't that long ago. Honestly, it's from my mom, and it was a long sleeve Miami Dolphins. First of all, my mom still thinks, because when I was younger, I was active in sports. I watched sports a lot. I don't now, and it's been like I'm not into sports now, and it's been forever since I've been like this. And there's nothing more frustrating than someone doesn't know you're into sports and gets you sports stuff that you're not gonna wear. It's just like, oh, put it in there. It's nice to have, I guess. I do like the Miami Dolphins, you know what I mean. But it was and it was like a rapper shirt. It had all this like the picture of the 2009 Affliction shirts, but it had a bunch of bling on it. It was shiny. It just looked. It wasn't me. I'll just say it was like Jay-Z.
Do you still have it?
I don't.
Do you still have it?
Oh come on, man! I want you to pose in that. I want you to pose in that with like a fucking baseball cap and shit, like hanging out. I want to take you back under the bridge and take photos of you hanging out in that shirt.
Right by the Mr. T spray paint tag. Shout out to the bridge. As far as games, the worst game I probably ever got. I got some stinkers, man. Probably the first Turtles on NES. That was pretty bad. But that also falls under the category where, as a kid, I liked it a lot. But now, looking back, it's like, what was I thinking?
You were just so desperate for a Turtles game. We were all so desperate for a Turtles game, and that's what became available.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking to you guys about last night, is how you pretend you get crappy games and you don't want to break your own heart, so you pretend they're not that bad.
I will say the most...
I'm sure.
Yeah. I didn't mean to step on your toes, man. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Huh?
I interrupt? I'm sorry. I didn't want to forget that I was going to say that. I definitely wanted to get that out because
you're good.
A big deal. That was a big deal, guys. Like you guys, I know you guys probably did it. Like the Wolverine game where crappy LJN Wolverine game, man. Like I loved Wolverine. I was into comic books because I'm a geek, and that's what I did. And I was like, oh, I was so excited getting this Wolverine game, and it sucked. And I just couldn't admit it, I could never admit it till I got older.
Yeah, I remember Ultraman. Do you ever play Ultraman for Super Nintendo? That was the same thing with that game for me. I got that as a kid, and I wanted it to be so good, even though I've never really watched Ultraman as a kid, and it wasn't. And it's like it's near and dear to my heart because it's so nostalgic to me because it's one of my first Super Nintendo games. So I totally know what you mean on the Wolverine, but fuck LJN and Wolverine, and that game fucking sucks for the most part. I will say the most obscure and kind of the most awesome in a way, but I'm such an idiot for never not holding on to it. It was like the era where PSX, PS1, whatever you want to fucking call it, and N64 were hot. Like Ocarina of Time was a shit. Like 97, 98 actually was that kind of that hot era for the N64, shit like that. But
Final Fantasy VII.
Stuff like the Sega CD was becoming obsolete, so it was dirt cheap. So my parents got me everything I wanted 3 years before that was too expensive. Did like the whole Sega CD package with like so many fucking games, all the everything you would expect. It didn't have Night Trap. It had like Sewer Shark, a Sherlock Holmes game, Sonic CD, which I didn't actually end up keeping. It was given to my grandmother for some reason. I don't know why. It was never explained to me, but it was awesome, and I wish I would have held on to it. Yeah, my grandmother's son, so whatever that relation is to me. Yeah, I know that's where I was going. I was waiting for somebody to pick up because everyone's feeling sleepy. It's Christmas Eve, guys. The holiday season in general is kind of bullshit. Not to like wax political, but just the commercialization of the holidays and everybody being miserable. That sucks about the holidays.
No. It does, but it doesn't. There's still a lot of good shit going on out there. There's still good people.
Like the recent.
I mean, shit. I tipped a waiter $20 today for no fucking reason. I hope I made that man's night. And all because he was a nice waiter.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas. But now going back to, I mean, I feel like sometimes like a lot, like your guys' parents must have tortured you. One of my biggest disappointments one Christmas, and you guys are going to laugh about this, I really wanted, what is going on here?
Yeah, what is that?
Who's thrashing around in their area?
Thrashing around?
Yeah, are you building something?
No, that was me. I had to get up for a minute. I'm sorry, I'm back.
You're climbing up. You're climbing up a chimney.
I was listening. I was listening the whole time. Well, I had to go make sure Santa Claus wasn't coming through the chimney right now with some really bad
coming
games.
down your chimney. Yeah.
He's probably trying to come deliver some bad video games for me, and I don't want them. So.
Well, here's one that like,
plugging up the hole.
And I even like told my parents because they were like, "Was there anything you wanted?" And I told them straight up. One year, I really wanted Lawnmower Man for Super Nintendo.
Oh,
really bad, dude. Just really badly. I wanted that game, and I told my parents like that's what I want. Like I want Lawnmower Man. Well, my dad actually had bought it. Took it home that night and put it in and played it, and it was so shitty that he went ahead and returned it the next day to switch it out for Mario Kart.
That is a cool dad. He knew what was up.
He straight up told me, he was like, "Son, I rented that game, or I bought that game for you. It was terrible, and instead I got you Mario Kart."
Do you guys like that movie? The Lawnmower?
I hadn't asked for Mario Kart. I loved the movie when I was a kid. And the thing was, too, my sister had actually read the story, the Stephen King story, to me out loud, and they were so different. But to me, like, I just thought that, like, man, like, there's a game, so it's got to be closer to the book in a way, too. Like, I just want this game. And the screenshots of it looked awesome. There was, like, a flying level, and all kinds of weird shit, like a weird face level. Like, It just looked awesome. And, yeah, my dad totally admitted. He was like, "Yeah, I bought that game for you. I took it home that night. I played it for about an hour, and I put it back in the packaging and returned it and switched it out and swapped it out for Mario Kart for you because that game was terrible." So,
I never played Lawnmower Man. I didn't know they even had a game. I'm actually gonna look it up later.
It's like all
it's
the
terrible.
Whole game is like mode 7, isn't it? Like it's all fucking gimmicky and
just fucking bad. Like, and my dad was straight up honest and just, saved me from getting a shitty game that year. Saved me from the disappointment. So, Good Dad. I think the shittiest game I ever got for Christmas, and it's a game called Stealth. It's for the NES. One of my relatives had bought it for me for Christmas at like one of those just secondhand places that are like a rental store. She probably picked it up for like $5, which is cool. But I remember coming home and I was all about flying too, and that's why she bought it for me because I loved games that
You
we
and
bought
those
flying at a
goddamn
PC.
flying games. I don't.
Hey man, it is what it is. But I had a PC and I had an F-13 or F-19 fighter plane game that I just loved. It was a great simulator. And so she got me that game, and man, it's great when you shoot down all the bogeys in the training session, but you can never land the fucking plane. Good luck landing. Good luck, because you're not going to fucking do it. And if you do, well, I don't know. You're not a skilled pilot. You're just some kind of weird drunk guy that's really good at landing an 8-bit plane.
I'll put you on the spot. What game was it easier to land your plane in, that or Top Gun?
Oh man, you know what? Neither of you could never fucking land either of them.
You can land in Top Gun. You just got to pay attention to the numbers. Nobody ever notices. It's a lot.
Not with that. And here's the thing about Stealth is you went from being in your cockpit to seeing your altitudes and shit to going into this like 2D side scroller part to go in and land your plane. Why couldn't you still be in the cockpit? It was bullshit. Yeah. The whole thing was bullshit.
Did either of you guys get Top Gun for Christmas and take it back?
No.
In your parents'
I had it, but I didn't get it for Christmas.
Yeah.
I did have Top Gun. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like I think it kind of turned me off of like flying games like that forever. Like it was pretty bad, guys. Like I hated it. Hate's a strong word, man, but that game I can truly say I hated.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
And that falls under that category of those games that even as kids you knew were dog shit. It was like, I never played it as a kid, but I remember you guys saying, we spoke off air before about Jaws, and you hated it even as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, games like that, you just know shit.
It.
Yeah, but Jaws was a rental for me. I could openly hate Jaws. So we rented it, and I was like, I'm never fucking renting this again.
I hated fucking despised as a kid Bart versus the Space Mutants. I hated that fucking game. It tortured me.
Yeah, me too.
And it was shocking that I gave Bart's Nightmare a chance, because as a kid that was a game that I shouldn't have liked, but I did a lot, because you could be an Itchy and Scratchy, you could be Bartzilla, you could do so much in that game.
I was going to say Bartzilla was my favorite one in that whole gig.
But anyway, like
it had mini games. Dude, I got Bart versus the World one year for Christmas.
That's a shitty game.
Yeah,
it's just as bad as Bart versus the Space Mutants, except it has.
No, it's not. It's not. It is not just. It's not just as bad. It is not just as bad, but it is still fucking terrible. It was still a huge disappointment. I think that's when my dad probably started buying games and then opening them up and playing them that night, because I bitched about that game as soon as I started playing it. Like, the intro was awesome, and then I got about an hour into it. I think I remember being like, "This game is terrible." I was like, "Well, you're stuck with it." They're taking it back. I already bought it 3 weeks ago.
I never played the versus the world that much, but yeah, I agree with you, Travis. That Space Mutants versus the Space Mutants, I really, really hated that game. Like and it's another one I tried to pretend that I liked because I like The Simpsons, but I couldn't. It was really bad. It's really hard, like just stupid, and I never cared for it.
Gotta collect shit and spray paint stuff. Yeah. The goal of the game is so stupid. At least in Bart versus the World, you just had to complete the level. That was the goal of that game.
It's fucking hard as hell, and so unfair.
I could never get past the Abominable Iceburns. Could never get past him. Everybody else I could get past, but once I got to the Abominable Iceburns, that was it. Fucking done?
What would each of you guys say in 2016 tonight? Was the night before Christmas, guys. Are you looking forward to getting this year, possibly? If you're getting back into gaming, if you are adding to your collection, what do you got on your wish list you wish would come for you in a little fantasy Christmas world? I will say we got the kids VR, and I would have said I'd like to try out VR, so I will talk about that on next episode too. I'm excited to talk about that. I hope one of you guys gets a VR so we can talk about it together.
Now, did you get them a Samsung VR? Did you get them an Oculus? Like, what did you get them?
Hori, Hori, Hori. They do a lot of third-party support for Nintendo stuff.
Horny?
Hori, Hori, but it's like Hori.
Oh, okay.
It's Japanese. It's for
I
your
thought you said
smartphone.
Horni.
It looks like it's pronounced Hori, but it's just say it Hori so you don't get in trouble.
Hori!
Hori! Oh, hey. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. But guys, what are you looking forward to getting, or wish you would get?
Go ahead, Tanner.
Well, see, Karen says she's like I had to pre-order stuff for you this time because I got everything for my birthday that I wanted, and I haven't mentioned anything else. You know, like I didn't even want to get Uncharted 4 because I already beat it. I'm really waiting for that to come down in price. But she went out and just pre-ordered a bunch of stuff, which I guess she already paid for it in full. I'm kind of crossing my fingers for a Switch, but I'm not putting my money on that.
Yeah.
But one thing.
Hello.
Are you there?
You still there? Ronnie,
yeah.
You still there?
I'm here.
But
cool.
But South Park though, the Silent But Whole, I think that might be one that got pre-ordered, and then after that, I don't know. Oh, or she got me Breath of the Wild. Might have done that.
Nice.
So if it's Breath of the Wild, I'm probably gonna start crying. But you know, or if she pre-ordered me Rogue One,
Jeez.
you know, because you can actually pre-buy those before they come out. I can look forward to watching Rogue One in March, but I don't think it's gonna be out that soon. So, because that's apparently when this comes out, she said.
Right.
So there's either Breath of the Wild, Rogue One, which that's actually out. There's no way that's coming out that soon. And you know, South Park, which South Park I'd still be happy with. I'd still be happy as shit with South Park.
Yeah, it's South Park. What can you say?
Yeah, I love Stick of Truth. I loved it. It was, to me, it was worth $60. I enjoyed my time with it.
I don't know. Saying
to
Stick
me.
of Truth is fucking worth $60 though. That's kind of a stretch. Maybe
there was a lot of work put into that game from Trey Stone and Matt Parker, and I will give them $60 of my money to keep making more South Park games like that.
Well, they don't need your money. South Park is doing all right, I would say.
Yeah, they don't need it, but I will gladly give it to them.
Yeah, they're definitely all right.
But I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. I think it's going to be a complete surprise, and that's what I like is surprises.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got everything I wanted for my birthday this year, game wise. Batman Episode 5 finally came out, so hopefully by the time next week rolls around, I'll be able to give my full review of Batman Telltale.
Finally, we get to hear the full recap.
The end of that. So
honestly, for me, it's not even a game. I just want a new PC. That's on my wish list, top tier. So that's pretty simple. Ronnie, are you getting? Do you want a new console? Do you guys do a lot of gift exchanging? Like, do you guys?
Yeah. I want that. I want to be in a retro gamer like I am. I want that NES Classic, the mini NES or whatever it's called.
You better put on a safari hat and put on some. You better go exploring.
No, by the second week of January, they'll be available all over the place.
Well, looking for by
Christmas
tomorrow.
Christmas for me, it doesn't have to fall on Christmas. Whenever it's available, it's no big deal.
Yeah,
I have games I'm playing now, so I'm all right.
Yeah.
So, you guys know, you got plenty of other games. I mean, I want it, but if I don't get it for a couple months, it's no big deal. So, yeah, I definitely do want it.
If it was a white perfect Christmas at Ronnie's house, what do you wish you would get? Do you wish it would, like, a Switch would show up your door, a PS4? Like, what
the Switch. The Switch. I'm definitely going to get the Switch eventually because like you guys know, I told you already, I'm definitely a Nintendo man.
See, and that's interesting because for all the listeners that don't know, you don't actually have a current gen console, so you're on the fence about which way to go, about who you're going to pass your buck to. And it's interesting you say Nintendo, and that the Switch has really hit home with a lot of people, and I think the Switch is going to make a big impact. If it has legs in the end, it's going to be interesting. But this holiday season is going to be big looking back. What happens with Nintendo, and this is make or break time for Nintendo. Let's be honest, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
You say that, but at the same time, they could always pull out some kind of other stuff. But I think the
worst case scenario, they go just mobile market. I think if they totally just fall flat on their ass, that's where they go. They'll still stay afloat, but I would like to think they'd like to have the mobile and the gaming and all that wrapped up into one. That's their ultimate goal. And if they don't have that,
and I think they do have that. They have that in the palm of their hand.
Yeah,
and they've got a very powerful system. The fact that you can take it anywhere is great. I'll probably take mine to work with me. So, I'll have that. So that way on my hour breaks, I don't have to come home. I can just,
I think the burning question is, are you going to take it to poop?
Always. That's going to be my best friend.
See what I did there?
Best friend takes the shit with you.
Yeah.
Well, what would you guys, if you guys had one complaint, what's the biggest complaint about Nintendo as far as like over the years? Like, what would you say your biggest complaint is?
That's true.
Because I know what mine is for sure, but I just
Skyward Sword. Yeah.
I'd have to place that in what era you're talking about. I would say in the classic era, fucking over third-party developers, not being more open to third-party support. That was totally fucking dictator type bullshit. What they did in the early days of Nintendo. I think now currently what they're doing the most now to piss me off is shutting down indie developers that they could hire, like we talked about before, that guys that made that 3D Zelda game that was amazing. It was a remake, but it was like Minecraft in a way, and just getting shut down because it was a fucking Nintendo IP from Nintendo. You should have hired that fucking guy. That everybody was like drooling at the mouth for that shit. Anyone that saw it, at least.
Yeah, they fucked up real bad on that one.
I think my main issue with Nintendo is they've always kind of had that elitist fucking bullshit about them, and it's bitten them in the ass on so many occasions. And it's like that fucking kid that never learns his lesson, that entitled little fucking rich kid or what. I don't fucking know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's necessarily an entitled rich kid thing, but it's more of a I'm trying to do my own thing, like more of a hipster kid, I'd say. Like, no, I'm too cool for that. Like, fuck you. And we invented these Disney-esque characters.
I'm going to listen.
And we're not going to share them. But
yeah.
It's just like I said, though, like them partnering up with Universal is a huge step to opening their doors. It's a big step.
Well, I feel the biggest problem is that I've heard from most people is they don't do a good, like they do really well with like their classics, like the Zeldas and all that, but they don't take on different like games. Like they don't take on like the first person shooters and the Grand Theft Autos that people love so much. Like they may not be able to get some of those.
They've reached out. They've tried. Yeah. Like damn.
They tried because like, dude, I seriously just sold a Wii to a lady today, right? And we had a copy of Modern Warfare 2 for the Wii. I've never played Modern Warfare 2 on the Wii, so I have no idea what it's like. But
man, that doesn't sound.
Like she just wanted to. She was like, I have a kid, doesn't really game, but wants to play a Call of Duty game for the hell of it. And I was like, well, we got Wii's for $20, and she was like, yeah, and you got Call of Duty there in the case. I'll take it. So
cool.
Nintendo did try with Metroid Prime, I guess. Wasn't that big of a success on it. It was enough a success to see 2 sequels. I don't know. And that goes back to that third-party support. Ronnie, what do you think Nintendo is the biggest dickhead about?
Just the whole not like all the other systems seem to give you like the cartoonish, more kiddish games, but they also give you like the violent, the real gory, like good fighting games and first person shooters and stuff. And I think Nintendo's just kind of fallen behind on that. I guess it goes back to what you were saying.
Pulled up
see, wait. I got to give counterpoint with that. Yeah, but also it's not just that. Splinter selling all kinds of stuff, and also let's not mention Manhunt 2 was on the fucking Wii, and you literally had to use the Wiimote to wrap a cord around a man's neck and then stretch it so that way you could strangle him to death.
Oh,
so you still had that brutality coming in. But
they've always been behind. It's like too little, too late, Tan. It's like graphically, they've never been caught up on par with the big boys in the past decade and over. And it's like they've always trying to play catch up, so it doesn't come out as good as you could just play it on PS3 and get the ultimate experience. Yeah, fucking Arkham. All the Arkham games came out for Wii U, or one of them did, and I'm sure it's much better on. I'd rather play it on not the Wii U, and I know you had it on Wii
U. No. Arkham Origins, I would say, is the best version I've played out of all of them.
Yeah,
but as far as but to go back to Ronnie's point though of see, I work at a pawn shop, so when people come in to say I want to buy games for my kid for the PS4, mostly adults come in to sell us games. So all I have are very violent games that I would not recommend to a child at all. I just wouldn't. I got 3 copies of Grand Theft Auto 5. I would not give that to a kid.
True.
But so at the end of the day, I'm just I'm like, instead of getting a PS4, why don't you get them this Wii U, and we'll put New Super Mario Brothers in there. I'll do that 50% off.
Yeah.
And they walk away happy because they actually got themselves a kid-friendly game.
Ronnie sorry, Tanner, go ahead.
But I'm saying Ronnie is right in that they do stick to the kiddie stuff most of the time. But Nintendo has tried, as I said, with Manhunt 2. I mean, that was a major thing. Resident Evil. I mean, that Resident Evil 4 was a GameCube exclusive for a year before it came out on PlayStation.
I would say the game that kickstarted that for Nintendo was when they finally gave us a Mortal Kombat for Super Nintendo that was worthy. Was Mortal Kombat 2. I think that was the first time you really saw that on Super. Besides, it saw a lot of gory games on the Killer Instinct, for what it's worth, was really bloody. Primal Rage was
Doom was censored though.
Yes, and that version sucks. Fuck the SNES version of Doom. Ronnie is right though. Up until Mortal Kombat, that's how Nintendo was. Nothing mature. It was you went to Sega. You just went to Sega. You went somewhere else for that. The NES had Chiller, and that game. But
But also at the time though, see, that's how Nintendo also did capture the market, because at the time, more kids were playing video games than adults. Yeah. Now we're all grown up. Now we are the new generation of gamers. We are what it started with. We are the foundation. So, I mean, there's that.
But see, Ronnie is proof in that that's not entirely true, because Ronnie is a retro gamer, and you have that demographic, people that just love retro games. They don't like modern gaming a lot, and I totally see that. I talk to people like that on Twitter. Shout out to my friend Top Hat Gaming Man. Fucking, he despises modern games because in his argument is it's like watching a movie. He just wants to play a game that just jump in, feel, and I totally get that. But there's just so many points of view on it, and it's an interesting perspective. Ronnie, do you think that
not to cut you off, Travis? Ronnie, is your house haunted or something?
Maybe.
It's not a Nintendo house.
What the hell is all that noise?
I don't hear anything.
I feel like you got spirits coming out of your fucking into your mic, and I don't know, man.
Maybe it's the ghost of bad video games. I don't know. Maybe they followed me over the years. I'm not sure.
You know what it is? I think it's the ghost of breaks, and I think we're about time for a break. When we come back, we have a game of the week, totally Christmas themed, and a special guest. We're gonna recite "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" for us, Tannen, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We come back. The reset button, number 4, Christmas Spooktacular. Guys, let's hit the reset button.
Hey guys, Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you, as always, check us out on Twitter, @Slam Pigs Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, The Slam Pigs Podcast. Or, as always, check us out on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Hibiki TMD is where it's at. Until we meet again, oink oink.
We're back. Welcome back to the reset button Christmas Eve, night before Christmas reading from the one, the only, the great Bane. Welcome.
Oh, 'twas the night before Christmas, and by the TV, not a system was on, not even PS3. The Nintendo's flap was closed with care, and hopes that a gamer soon would be near. When out from the room came a stumbling clacking, a drunken gamer with a craving for slapping, punching his way to the next level glee. Could even be Batman or Aquaman, see. As he sat in his chair and the power button glowed, in hopes that the day would always be known, for Christmas was here and a good game could snatch. So he reached under the tree and he opened the hatch. He saw Jaws, he saw Mario, he saw Zelda too. But the most important thing was that he saw you. So, dear gamer, on this Christmas day, be happy you're here and not in a sleigh.
And we're back. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Bane. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You know, when I tell you you can talk, you have my permission to do so.
All apologies.
Go
Merry
ahead,
Christmas,
Travis.
Bane. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, and very many blessings. May they follow even you.
That was Bane, ladies and gentlemen. He's at my house.
We're back. I told you.
Oh,
We said we had a Christmas surprise, and there it was. First ever celebrity guest, guys. Bane, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Follow Bane on Twitter at Bane's World. Guys, we're back. It is our
Adam was a good boy and putting great presents, bombs and weapons and games under his tree. I'm out. Everyone, Merry Christmas to you and me.
Bane, let's share the spotlight a little bit. We're also joined again, back from the break. Ronnie from the Nunchuck Bastards is back with us. Ronnie, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Merry Christmas.
And it is our Game of the Week time. And of course, maybe even Bane played a little bit, guys. We went to the Christmas theme because we're lame as fuck like that. But we found a game that, I don't know. It's not bad or good in my opinion. It's just, I don't know. But this game only saw release in Europe and Australia. And it was by Sunsoft.
Yep, never in America.
Never in America. Released by Sunsoft, one of the last efforts from Sunsoft for the SNES. This was Daze Before Christmas, spelled like D-A-Z-E. See what they did there? Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Dazed and Confused, you know.
Guys, what is this game?
This game is awesome. I love this game. It's incredibly easy, but the graphics and the animation in it are on just point. The music is also awesome. Travis, I think you'd agree with that one.
That was my favorite part of the game.
It was the music. I think the gameplay was awesome too. The animation was great. You could duck, and he would just go into his little hat. And it was so adorable. And I was like, oh my god, look, it's Santa in this little hat. And it was just, oh man. And as soon as you turn it on, it just gives you those Christmas chills. It puts you in the Christmas spirit. And then you get this thing, and it turns you into Satan Claus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee or cocoa or liquid shit, not aware of what's in the cup, but something turns you red, Ronnie, and it pretty much puts Santa on steroids.
It does, yes. I just thought the game was, I agree with all that. The gameplay part, I thought it was really boring. Like it was too easy.
Mundane.
Yeah, it was incredibly easy.
But the graphics, I mean, even the part where he turned into Satan Claus was cool. But again, the game was just so boring. Like it's so easy and just boring for me. So, but it was cool, and the music was cool. Everything was cool. Like I agree with everything except for the gameplay. The controls I thought were really good. The controls were on point.
Yeah.
I just didn't think the game wasn't entertaining enough, not challenging enough for me.
I totally agree with it gets very boring and repetitive, mundane, or whatever have you. I will say the music was so good for me because it caught me off guard because it was like a remix of Christmas songs. It was like a White Christmas remix, and I wasn't aware at first. And actually, one of my kids pointed out that it was White Christmas. I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, when you get to like that cave level, it's White Christmas playing.
Yeah, I put this on the living room, got the kids together, let the kids play this with me too, guys, and they didn't like it. Well, they're not big on the old school games in general because they think they're hard because they're handheld now in this generation. Let's be honest.
Whoa, they felt that game was hard.
For them, well, not like terrible. Like, okay, my stepson will tear through fucking Drake's Fortune, no problem. But this game, God, it just destroyed him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that speaks to the hand-holding generation of tutorials and easier games. Not like we had it. Dive into Silver Surfer. Dive into fucking Ninja Gaiden. Just do it with what your wits are.
But you can dive in. You can. I mean, I'm not saying your stepson's like in-gamely inept because I'm sure
he loves beat 'em ups. They are really good at beat 'em ups. For some reason, that's just they really grab to those. But those are pretty simplistic. That's his.
Well, this was the epitome of simplistic. In my opinion, I mean, it didn't even give you hearts.
The levels got really confusing, though. Not really, because I got to like stage 4 or 5, and it was kind of like a maze. I was like, "Where the fuck are these presents?"
Yeah,
like
it's not collecting the presents. You just have to find the door, no matter what.
You got to collect.
Find the door.
From what I remember,
to get points. But from when I played, like you just find the door.
To be satanic.
Some of the levels could be so short. Yeah. But, yeah, man. Oh, man, you turn into Satan Claus. I would love it if it went into, like, some kind of death metal, like, sounding like, sleigh bells ring, can you hear them? I don't know, like, something just, I don't know. Like, I just felt so pissed off, like, playing that game, turning into Satan Claus. Like, I was like, yes!
It was...
Feel my wrath!
It was surreal. It was totally surreal to see Santa Claus in that form, and... I will say the positives for this game, the sprite animation on Santa was phenomenal. Some of the best I've ever seen. The ducking animation was awesome. I was like blown away by it. It looked like 32-bit at times, honestly.
Can you do me a favor since we're talking about this?
No.
Can you find the footage of Church Lady saying like Santa and Santa Claus both have the same syllables? Coincidence? I think not.
I will do my damnedest.
Yeah, she says that.
You put me on the spot.
Find that clip.
But I will do my damnedest.
Yeah, guys. Like I said, I thought the game, everything, the graphics, even the controls were awesome. The only thing I didn't like is just how easy and like not challenging. Like I'm playing Ghouls and Ghosts and stuff right now, so it's like going from that to that was this is.
You're raising the bar high there, though, for hard games.
Yeah, raising the bar goddamn high. But yeah, it's just like it is definitely a kid's game, and as an adult, gave me that fuzzy feeling. Like, oh man, I got that fuzzy Christmas feeling. Had I gotten that for Christmas that year, I wouldn't have bitched. I would have been like, holy shit, like I'm having fun. I'm
surprised. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, like I really think that was what that game was supposed to be all about. It wasn't really supposed to be a challenge. I mean,
for what it was impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it tried to be more than it should have been. I think the developers knew what kind of game they were making. I think at the end of the day, I wouldn't say this is a bad game. I would recommend it as something interesting, as a novelty to check out. Something that's interesting I was going to say is fucking, like, the lack of Christmas-themed games, and, like, you would think that would be a bigger genre. There would be more Christmas-themed games. You could say, how much can you do? But in reality, there's a lot of characters to work with. If you're talking about the whole mythos, like the Jack Frost, the Frosty, if you put it all together, there could have been a lot of games. And it's surprised, like, there should have been a Frosty game.
Well, do you guys remember years ago, the Coca-Cola commercial? And it had Mario dressed up as Santa Claus, but it was, like, using, like, the Super Nintendo engine to, like, animate it.
I've seen it, but
I
never saw it when I was young.
See, I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking, damn, that would be an awesome game to be a Mario Claus. And we never got it, and it was to promote some system of like, hey, you get this number, call it in, you might win a Super Nintendo or something like that. And but still, like, it still echoes in my mind of, man, that would have been an awesome game. And then I finally play this game, and I'm like, oh shit, this is almost like I wanted it, like when I was 7 years old. This is cool. So I'm not going to dog this game, even because it's easy. I'm not going to dog it because it's just a Christmas game. Would I recommend it just to play a game about Christmas?
To be Santa.
Sure.
To shoot. I can't believe we didn't mention this. You shoot Hadoukens straight up, fucking.
Yeah.
And you shoot
straight up Hadouken snowballs.
When you're Satan Claus, you shoot Akuma Hadoukens when you're pissed off. So you shoot the red ones, but you're blue when you're normal. So Santa is not fucking around in this. He's legit. It's a fun game. It's not bad. Check it out. Ronnie, would you recommend it?
I would recommend it because for what it is, it is a good game. Like I said, just for my level, like the games I like to play, just a little bit on the easy side for me. But I think they did a great job, and for what it is, I would recommend it to anyone who likes that style game.
Very good.
There you go.
That was Game of the Week, guys. Now, as far as Game of the Week, next week, fresh start, no holiday gimmick, nothing fancy, no bells and whistles, not of your request. It's Tannen's turn for Game of the Week.
Hold on, though. Had a different one, and it is a holiday gimmick because next week is New Year's.
Okay.
So how about a different one? I'm going to throw you a clinker because we talked about it, and guess what? I came up with something else.
Bane, what do you think? Clinker time?
Clinker time.
Bane's Bane is
just listen. Parasite Eve takes place on New Year's. You want to play it? Or do you want to go with my original? Okay.
Was that PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
That was PlayStation 1. Let's do Parasite Eve. I originally had Dino Crisis on my list. But that has nothing to do with New Year's. Let's stick with the holiday theme. Let's go ahead and do Parasite Eve. It's a good game. And I want to go ahead. I haven't played it in probably about 10 years. So let's go back, see how much we like it.
Sounds good. I'm down.
All right. Sweet.
Is that you and I playing that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm down. Let's do
it. Unless you have a different one for me.
You know what? I'm just relieved it's not a shitty game.
Okay.
So, awesome. I played that game. I like that game. Good pick. Ronnie, you ever played Parasite Eve back in the day?
I did. Yep. I did have that on PlayStation 1.
Well,
yeah. And you know what?
Excited.
Better listen to You're Gonna Party Like It's 1999 because it's New Year's Eve 1999 when that takes place.
Cool.
So listen to your Jamiroquai and get ready for a New Year's Rockin' Eve with Dick Clark. We're bringing him back from the dead. So check it out next week. Parasite Eve.
Fucking laid out.
Spoiler alert, Parasite Eve. And hopefully I will see in Rogue One so I can get my thoughts. Tannen, you'll have the Batman Telltale series wrapped up. Ronnie. Go ahead, Tannen.
I was just going to say, and hopefully, could I actually talk more about Rogue One and include spoilers? Because hopefully you fuckers got off your ass and actually saw it.
But before we get to that, we can. But I know we both are drooling at the mouth to talk about the Star Wars Christmas special. So I don't know which one you want to talk about and to wrap up the show tonight first with. But we got to talk about one of the two, if not both.
I'm talking about next week. Next week I do the Rogue One spoilers.
Okay, cool.
So, okay.
Star Wars Christmas
so get off... Yeah, Star Wars. Oh my God! So let me go ahead. Let me segue into this one.
All right.
So the other day, Travis calls me up. I'm intoxicated, and he brings up the Star Wars Christmas special, and I bring it up like it's a painful childhood memory, and I went off. I mean, I got upset. So what do? In return, I go ahead.
Let's just tell everyone you cussed me out. Just because I mentioned
cussed you out because you mentioned such an atrocity. So what did I turn around and do the following night? I watched it.
Of course
I watched it from beginning to end because I felt it was a challenge. I thought it was a challenge to therapeutically get through my pain. And I think it's going to end up being, as long as it's on YouTube, so help me God, I will watch it every year. But I will never earn it.
I'm going to hold you to that.
The Star Wars Christmas special, for those of you who are not familiar with it, aired in the early December of 1977 after the successful summer release. And it kind of changed a lot of people's perspective on Star Wars there for a second. George Lucas deemed it so terrible that they never re-aired it.
Yep.
Was hoping that all the tapings were going to be destroyed, and well, guess what? People taped it, and to this day, it still exists. And you can't special edition that shit.
You can't take that mole off or you'll die.
Nope, you can't. and you know what? And you know what? It's also considered canon because the Kashyyyk, the Wookiees' Life Day is considered a canon thing. Right. Even Disney recognizes it as canon.
They do.
So yeah. Well, so with that said, let's go ahead and talk about it. Travis, have you watched it?
Man, I'd hate Chewbacca's family. I've met them, and I don't like them. They're ugly. Yes, unfortunately, I have seen it. It's awful. It really is. It definitely is so bad it's good. That's the only reason worth watching it. And stick it to Lucas, son of a bitch. No, but it's bad. Tannen, pretty much the gist of the Star Wars Christmas. It was kind of like... Now, in a way, when Star Wars characters were on the Muppet Show, that was good. I liked that Muppets episode with Star Wars characters. This was kind of like that, but just bad.
Like, no, it was nothing like that. The episode where the Woody came on the Muppets was totally awesome.
Yeah.
And that was just parody. It was comedy. This was supposed to be taken seriously.
Not at all. Han Solo really, Chewbacca's fucking wife was supposed to be taken seriously with her deformed rock Santa's face? Okay.
Don't fuck with Nala. Okay.
Oh, God.
She's just stressed out. Anyway, though, so, like, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm just going to go ahead and recap this shit. So,
well, has Han Solo and Chewbacca... Has Ronnie seen it? Real quick, have you seen it, Ronnie?
Seen what?
Have you seen the Star Wars Christmas?
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, and I meant to ask something. I can't remember what question I was going to ask about it, but keep talking. I definitely haven't seen it, but I'm going to check it out.
You lucky man.
So basically, okay, I'll give you a quick recap. So, yeah, dude, even fucking Oracle does not want me to talk about this. She hated watching it with me. She just barked at me.
This is the he that shall be named of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. So anyway, though, so we started out. Han Solo and Chewbacca are on their way home to Chewbacca's home planet to celebrate the Wookiees' Life Day. And they get stopped, of course, by two Imperial starships that are somehow over Tatooine. They're not supposed to be over Tatooine, but they're over Tatooine because they're using old movie footage, of course. And then, meanwhile, Chewbacca's family's all stressed out, and she does a distress call out to Luke, who is way over made up with makeup.
One positive
she's like,
is in this.
No, yeah. Well, he's like, well, there's Mark Hamill. Leia's in it.
Not that.
Man, you really do not want me to talk about this.
There's Leia's one. No, I'm just gonna say there's one good thing.
No. Don't throw it out.
I'm not.
I'll get to the one positive. I'll get to the one positive. And so she calls up Luke though, and Luke has all this makeup on. He looks fucking weird as shit. And he's somehow working on his ship. It keeps like exploding with more fire extinguisher effect. And he's like, chill out, just make you dinner. And we go into this star-studded guest star thing. B. Arthur is even involved in this.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to B. Arthur. Rest in peace, woman.
She made it.
Yeah.
She made it on the show.
She's the canteen owner. She owns the fucking canteen and kicks everybody out.
Fucking moss.
I mean, there's other stars in this, though. I can't even place their names, though, because, I didn't grow up in the 60s and 70s, so I can't say who they are off the top of my head. Long story short, you finally get to the thing that you're waiting on, and it's a animated movie that looks like it was animated by people who took a lot of acid.
It was kind of like heavy metal, like that. It was that kind of stuff.
Kind of like that. I mean, well, Han Solo looks like he perpetually has diarrhea on his face. He constantly looks like he's shitting himself.
He does. He's poopy face.
And they land on this goopy planet made of goopy stuff, and who should appear but Boba Fett?
The one good thing they did, Tannen asked me not to spoil, they gave more story to Boba Fett, and this is why this is a shame this isn't mentioned by Lucas or whatever, because God, I love Boba Fett.
This is Boba Fett's fucking introduction. This is the first time anybody saw him. That was also why that Christmas season, right before Christmas, when this aired, Boba Fett sold the most action figures. Because all those kids saw it and they were like, who the fuck is that? And Boba Fett, like, he's like, yeah, Luke, I'll help you out. I'll help you find Han Solo. And then when he goes to find him, tries to capture Han Solo. And Han Solo is like, dude, you jerk. Like, that's fucking Boba Fett. He's like, I didn't know who the fuck that was. So you have a little bit of backstory to it. Boba Fett's riding a dinosaur, by the way.
Wow.
This came out in 78, so you got Boba Fett, what, 2 years later in Empire?
77.
Well, where can I watch this?
It was December of 77.
Sorry.
YouTube. You can watch it full length on YouTube from end to end.
Really?
Ronnie, you're about to
check because there's no right to
check it out.
There's the salesman that sits Chewbacca's old ass father down. He's an old ass Wookiee, sits him down in this virtual reality like masturbatory thing. She's like, go ahead and relax. And it's this like really hot black woman that's just like, go ahead, relax, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, like he's like actually kind of getting off on it. Yeah, also there's
that's
no
not
subtitles.
jokey. That's not something, you could be jokey about. You're right, Tan.
You can't. Just, well, no, it's
a fucking Wookiee orgasm, pretty much.
Yeah, he has a Wookiee orgasm. And then but also like not to mention like I mean one of the coolest parts actually is when little Chewie the son goes to play on his the chessboard thing with the holograms and there's these acrobats. That part's pretty cool actually.
I will definitely check this out. I like weird and ridiculous stuff.
But it slowly gets worse and worse. And the worst part is the last part with fucking B. Arthur. Oh my God! That's how it is. It doesn't end with the animated movie. It ends with B. Arthur singing us all a song in the cantina.
Wow.
That's how they take it home. They wrapped
up.
It was Ball Game with B. Arthur for sure.
It was CBS. It was CBS getting involved in some shit, and they wanted to make a Star Wars variety show for the holidays.
Yep.
And it did. It rang in. It had a shit ton of ratings, but it was so terrible that George Lucas was like, "I want to fucking shut this shit down now." And I'm sorry, you can't stop a train when people have fucking VCRs because this is also the beginning of the VCR era. Yeah. So for those people that could afford $1,000 VCR, they recorded that shit, and those kids kept it forever.
It's kind of happened.
Wow, I'm checking it.
It kind of happened with like The Godfather when they aired The Godfather in the 70s on national television. The edited version, people were pissed. Like, and they're like, "Don't ever show that again." And it was like Francis Ford Coppola was like, "No, I'm sorry that came out." It's fucking 70s, man. I'm telling you. No, but seriously, Godspeed to you, Ronnie. If you watch this for the first time, just get ready for some B. Arthur. And
I'm gonna watch it. Don't worry, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh boy,
you gotta watch though. I kind of wish I could watch it with you, Ronnie, because I would love to see. I would love to see virgin eyes lay their eyes upon it.
We can make it happen. We can make that happen, man. We really could.
Well, I watched it with Karen, and she like the acrobat part. She was really entertained, and she was like, "That was really awesome." I was like, "Yeah, that's probably the coolest part of this fucking show," and that's it. Get ready for a big. What is it? What is it? Stir, sip, stir, smash, stir. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you are in for a treat.
Plus side to this, Tannen, we finally got it out. We never have to talk about this again. It's over.
Yeah.
We did it. We ripped the Band-Aid off. We ripped that fucking Band-Aid off and it's done. So shout out to us. Yeah.
We hit the reset button.
There's a particular game that I call the worst game I ever got for Christmas, and I kind of wanted to share it with you guys and see if you've ever played it.
What's that?
It's called Urban Champion.
Oh, yeah, I've played that game.
It was inspired by 1984, Game & Watch.
I'm thinking of Pit Fighter, sorry.
Well, it was inspired by the 1984 little Game & Watch title, Boxing, also known as Punch-Out. It was Nintendo's first 2D fighting game. Eventually followed in 1993 by Joy Mech Fight, and released exclusively in Japan on the Famicom. But the purpose of the game is to knock the other player into a manhole. and that's what you do. You punch people and they roll off the stage, and it goes to you standing in front of another house, and you just keep punching people until they fall into a manhole. So it was mixed, pretty much mixed, the negative reviews on it, and it showed the NES could not do a proper one-on-one fighting game.
That's a game you got though for Christmas? That sucked?
Yes, it was the worst game. It's one of the worst games I've ever played for Nintendo.
I wonder how rare it is, though. It might also be worth a shit ton of money. So we should look that up on eBay.
Well, check out, like, they have video of it on YouTube and stuff, and it was terrible. It was the first ever 2D fighting game on Nintendo.
$10,
right?
It's going for $10 on eBay. I looked it up.
Yeah, it's pretty crappy. It was bad, guys. It was really bad. But if you ever get a chance and you want to play a really stupid fighting game, like, check it out. You guys have the emulator. I'm sure you guys have a way to play them and stuff. So
the cover of this game the cover is deceptive because the box art I'm looking at looks awesome. It's two sprite guys. It looks like the one guy has a high kick pose and the other just looks like he's about to punch him right in the nuts. It looks badass. So that's deceiving. Don't believe the hype.
Are you talking about the Urban Champion box?
Yes, I'm looking at the box art because I look at the price of it.
See, mine has a guy about to fall into a manhole and another dude with his fist up and the guy falling backwards. Look it up on Wikipedia if you can.
Oh, okay, he is falling. It looked like he was doing a high kick, but he is falling. You're right. He has red pants on. He's falling into a hole, but it looked like from where I was looking at. But anyway, it
is no way badass. It's terrible. Hey, so
speaking of box art, I wouldn't mind doing an episode about this.
Nope.
I have a shit ton of Atari manuals that I acquired from work not too long ago.
Nice.
Those are very deceptive. They have comics in them. Even one of them for like some kind of Galaga ripoff definitely has a still frame from Star Wars in it, which I'm sure was illegal to use.
You have Sword Quest,
but it's in there.
Because that game
required
the manual pretty much.
It just definitely had. It was definitely an unlicensed usage, but this was back when people weren't suing everybody over shit.
This is the pirate days of video gaming. Everyone's a pirate, pretty much. Howard Scott Warshaw fucking going around the offices of Atari dressed as Indiana Jones while he was developing for the game, just taking fucking mushrooms or whatever. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get Urban Champion. It looks like shit.
It's terrible. It was one of the worst games I've ever played, and it's a Nintendo licensed game. It's made by Nintendo, and Shigeru Miyamoto is the one who produced it.
Holy shit! And that's the holiest of all holies there.
Yeah, dude, and it was terrible. That's what I'm saying. You guys, if you've never the first 2D fighting game on Nintendo, if you guys ever can, try to play it because you'd be like, man, because if you look at it, like it had all the right elements to be a great game, but it just wasn't. So I just think it was one of the most disappointing games I ever got for Christmas. It is the most disappointing game I've ever gotten. I mean, Fester's Quest is on my list, and what's some other ones? I had Metal Gear because I know there's a big debate on that, and I hated Metal Gear.
Hated that game.
Karate
See that game, Metal Gear, is a prime example of a game that ruined me trying another game in the franchise because I thought they were going to be that shitty. So I didn't play the other ones till way later, and it didn't even really play them. I played them for like 10 minutes. I was like, I don't know. Just that first one stained me so much, and I'm not big on stealth games a lot either. I don't know.
Yeah, oddly enough, I really liked Metal Gear when I was about 6 years old.
Yeah,
I got the concept down.
Some people hate it.
I think I got the concept down. I realized it wasn't Contra. Like I realized, I got to sneak past all this bullshit. The thing that always pissed me off about this game, and going back as an adult too, was even if you killed all the enemies and you went back to the next frame, they were all there.
Yeah,
waiting for you again.
Yeah, the respawn and stuff.
Always
like the respawn in that was fucking ridiculous. That is my biggest complaint with the original one. But
well, it should have been good too, but it wasn't for me.
You guys should have been good because it's Christmas Eve. We're all spent. It's been a great episode. Ronnie, thank you, man, for coming on. Where can everyone find you
Yeah,
at
Ronnie,
once
thank
again?
you.
And the Nunchuck Bastards, everyone check out. You got shows coming up. Where can everyone check you out once again?
We don't have any shows coming up. We're recording right now, but I'll keep you posted, and you can mention it. Yeah, because I talk to you on a regular basis on Facebook and stuff. So I'll keep you posted. You'll probably see me post one when we do have another one anyway. So you can share that information if you want. But we do have a Facebook account. Like, we're working on like a real album because we've never really put out a real album as well. So we're actually doing that for like the first time in ever. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was great doing this with you guys. Like, hopefully in the future, I'll come back on and be a guest again. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely had a good time, guys.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed having you on, man. And keep in touch with me as well. Hey, let me know about your shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you get yours started up, we would definitely do like a collab, man, and get stuff going. So thank you, man.
Yeah, that would be great. So.
And you guys heard him, Nunchuck Bastards. Check him out. You heard him on the show. You heard him on the break. Get on it. It's good old fashioned punk rock, how it should be. Tannen, my man, another show, number 4 in the books. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Hey, I hope you get lots of goodies. I can't wait to talk about them with you next week, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody.
I think this is gonna be.
Everybody should have good gifts.
Hold on. I guess just wants to say one more thing.
Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.
Reset button.